It's true, Shawn.
What are you talking about? What's true?
All of it. You know all of it. You know it.
So where can I find this truth? It
On the Pop Bros Network, because this is a Pop Bros exclusive.
Did you just want to act like Han Solo again?
You know, doing a promotional spot isn't like dusting crops, boy. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. Shawn, it's my favorite time of year. I don't want to mince it. I don't want to waste words. I don't want to be me. I don't know. I want to get into it.
There's a line right now. There's a line outside of some famous hall. And it's not the one from Comic-Con, because San Diego Comic-Con is closed right now. But you know what's not closed?
Our hearts.
Our hearts as well. Hall LOB. Hall LOB is open for all kinds of business. It's wide open. You just slide right in and take care of your business. And we're going to do that today as we do our Comic-Con recap show.
We're going to do that right in front of you.
Yeah.
You're going to take care of your business, and we're going to take care of our business.
Because there are some things that made me happy in the pants in this past 5 days, Richard.
Woe to the janitors in Hall LOB.
Oh, it's sticky everywhere. I didn't even know one guy could produce this much.
And then you find out it wasn't just one guy.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
Did they just not face each other?
All right, Richard, it is Comic-Con season. Is it Comic-Con or Comic-Con? It's Comic-Con, right?
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. I always get, because I think the Kansas City one's Comic-Con.
Two separate words. Comic-Con.
But there's some that are Comi, right? C-O-M-I?
I don't know. Kevin always says it as Comic-Con.
I think he's the one that screws me up on everything.
Yeah, I think he says Comic-Con, and then it makes me think of like a bunch of Russians like walking around.
Yeah. Well, and like we just realized today, I think I've been calling him Carl Drago instead of Khal Drago. I have no idea where that came from.
I don't know either, because I'm not paying attention when you talk, which is possible. But I've never heard you say it like that.
You know, Steve, we've been friends for like 10 years, and I would think I'd catch you saying something like that. What'd you say? Steve? My name's Shawn. Oh, yeah, Steve's the other guy I do a podcast with.
You know what I meant.
Oh.
They sound similar.
My LOB hall badge says Steve. I guess I'm Steve now.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Jeff? Oh, wait. You're still Shawn. I gotta
go. All right, Richard, what do you want to open up with? What was your thing from San Diego Comic-Con?
Ooh. What do you lead off with? Okay, well, I guess. Okay, so let's lead off with the big things.
Okay.
We'll start with the big stuff. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the little stuff. Let's start with some little stuff, because this fall I have a trailer for a movie they announced at Comic-Con called Dr. Marston and the Wonder Women.
Okay, I haven't even seen this. No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, Shawn. This is I feel like I saw the trailer for this movie, and it makes me want to do a podcast about this, not the movie, but about the story behind the movie.
Okay.
So what this is it's a film about the creator of Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how much do you know about the guy that created Wonder Woman?
None at all.
Okay, Shawn, here you go. You ready for this? So he worked as a professor at, I don't remember what college. Worked as a professor. He not only maintained a relationship with two women, like together, like they all lived in the same house.
At the same time?
Yes. He had this is back in the 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Had a polyamorous relationship with two women in his house while teaching. Also, the three of them were very heavy into S&M and bondage.
Wow. Progressive.
Very much so. So when he created Wonder Woman, he based it off for him it was an amalgam of these two women.
Okay. Does that make Wonder Woman hotter now? Like that outfit's kind of a BDSM kind of outfit.
Oh, I'm not to the really like fun fact part. Also, this guy also was part of the team that invented the lie detector. Invented the polygraph.
Dude lived a very interesting life.
Right? Why would you not want to see a movie about this?
I'm interested. I'm sold. It's like every woman he meets is like, hey, so are you into 2 chicks at once?
Because I am.
Every chick I bring over says no.
Except one, and now I got 2. Yeah, he was married, and then they brought in a third.
Oh, so he's the guy who invented Wonder Woman or part of the duo?
He was the creator of Wonder Woman.
Wow, and DC and Warner Brothers hasn't smashed this film from getting made? Is
I
Marvel
know.
making this movie? Marvel's making this movie, aren't they?
I don't remember. It actually had some fairly decent names behind it, but I can't.
Is it a documentary or is it a movie?
It's a movie. It's a dramatization.
Okay. Interesting.
So yeah, it's 50 Shades of Grey meets
comic book movies.
Yeah.
You want to see my collection?
Yeah. So there you go. There's a surprising one.
Yeah, I didn't even hear anything about this one.
Not a lot of people knew. They kind of flew it under the radar, but I picked it up and I'm putting it out there because I think people will flip over it.
Oh yeah, I think that's really interesting. I'm surprised that there wasn't more hits on it with Wonder Woman being as big as it was.
I'm surprised we haven't done a podcast about this dude yet.
I think that's going to be on our list to do one.
Yeah.
When's the movie come out? In the fall?
In the fall. I think that's all I saw was fall of 2017. His name is Professor Marston, Marston. He penned Wonder Woman under a different name, like he had a pseudonym, a pseudonym.
Because his name was already kind of spread throughout the.
Maybe, I don't know.
Interesting. I'm pretty sold on that then.
Yeah, exactly. So Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. That's the name. That's the name of the movie. Supposed to be out in the fall.
He's like, my dream is an island full of women. Isn't that all dudes like dreams though?
Is.
You come home, your wife's like, hey, you know what I think we should do? You're like, bring another lady into our bedroom. Yes. Wait, what?
Yes. Oh,
I thought I was just throwing that out there. Like, I was like, yeah, and I was just kidding. But I thought you were gonna be like, for me to take out the trash, but
right.
Wait, I got somebody on speed dial.
That's for me. That's not for you. And then you're like, oh.
Can I watch? No. You actually have to leave now. Well, Richard, the one thing, probably the biggest thing that I got pumped for, it's, when we talk about one of our favorite cartoons because you and I are pretty much kids in the 90s, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was there for the 80s too, but the 90s, I would say. I still watch cartoons, so I can't.
But yeah, we had Doug, we had Rugrats. What else was there that was great? It's Ren and Stimpy.
Beavis and Butthead. One of my favorite cartoons at that time, still probably my favorite to this day, Rocko's Modern Life, right? Yeah. I think that's still high on everybody's list. Yes. It still kind of stands to this day, too, I think, if you rewatch. I watched a couple episodes. Oh, it totally holds up. I didn't realize this was a thing. I guess you heard about this before I did, but you posted a trailer, and it was Rocko's Modern Life. I was like, okay, let me watch this. It's probably some like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we did a Rocko series? And Richard, what are we getting? We're not getting a Rocko series. We're not getting a series. We're getting a 1-hour Rocko movie with the original cast. Yeah. They announced that they were doing something like 5 or 6 months ago. They announced it, but I didn't know where they were with it. It was kind of one of those things that like they announced it and I'm like, oh, well, I'll wait until I see something before I get excited. And so I just kind of filed it away. Mm-hmm. And then this showed up and I was like, ooh, it's this Richard, you talk about like that was kind of like a social commentary to an extent back then. Like they like the Suckomatic 3000. Well, and it was subversive. It was subversive and satirical. Yeah, satirical, I think is what I'm looking for. While still, while still having something that endeared to kids. It's the same thing that Looney Tunes did back in the, when we were getting Looney Tunes. Except Rocko has Eat the Beaver jokes. That's true. But like you look at this, like the 21st century is like ideal for Rocko. Like you just watch like this 2-minute clip
or 2-minute trailer, they have buzz bucks all over the place. Like,
Yep.
and if I've watched this trailer like 4 times, if you look in the background, like every few seconds, there's another buzz bucks. Because why, Richard?
Yeah.
You can't go 20 feet without there being a Starbucks or some coffee shop somewhere. And what I love too, I sent you a picture of this. We all know that I love to write at coffee shops, right? So Rocco, Heifer, and the Turtle are at one, and they get all hyped up on caffeine, go less than 20 feet to the other, and who's there writing their great next novel? Me.
It's you. It's you, Shawn. It's always been you.
The creator, Joe Murray, he's executive producing and co-directing this. He was quoted as saying, I'm very happy to be rejoining Rocco and my friends from O-Town again. What I found by bringing these characters back is that it's not so much about nostalgia, but a sense that they still feel relevant and fresh to me. And after 20 years, they can't wait to comment on modern life in 21st century. They still have a lot to say. And I don't know how, like you said, you saw a little bit of the trailer, and it all just is ripe for this stuff. Like, you've got social media they can comment on. Like, could you imagine social media in Heck? Like, that seems like that'll be freaking hilarious.
Yeah, there was Peaches. Peaches was in the.
Did you see
in the thing
when they were trying to smack him? It was thumbs downs.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't see though, there was no Spunky.
I noticed that too.
Which kind of
I didn't know if they were gonna. I didn't know how that was gonna work.
If they're gonna address that, or if maybe they just didn't put him in there.
I don't know. That one had me wondering. Because I was thinking the same thing. I didn't see him in any of the stuff. It was just Rocco, Hef, and
I can't remember the turtle's name.
Filbert?
Filbert, yeah, that sounds right. But it's, like I said, this seems fitting for this times. And I know when we talked about it, I was like, oh, it's just a movie. That kind of stinks. Like, I was really hoping for like a 12-episode season or something. But maybe if this does well, because they're doing 2 other old Nickelodeon cartoon movies. Hey Arnold, and I think Doug. Doug might be the other one they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the other one they're doing.
If they do well, maybe Nickelodeon will kind of bring back like a Nick at Night type of thing where it's more of like an Adult Swim-esque, where they take these 90s nostalgic shows and give them kind of more of an adult, even more of an adult humor.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, really, if you're looking for a cartoon like Rocco at all, I mean, the only thing you're going to get is maybe Rick and Morty.
Yeah, from what I've heard people talk about, it's kind of similar, but...
Well, I just mean, anywhere close you're going to get is to something like that is Rick and Morty. So, I mean, yes, we need, and that cartoon is super popular. So, give me more of this.
Yeah.
More of these things, especially when you got to bring in the cast, you got to,
really, really big, man. I mean, you see, like, they're making fun of 3D comics. They're like, why is this comic book shop not here anymore? And they're 3D printing. I don't know if you caught it. In the background for the O-Watch, the slogan for it was "Look like a tool."
Oh, I did see that.
Okay.
I did see that. But yeah, that's the one thing I love about a show like Rocco. It's subversive. There's stuff in there for adults. There's stuff in there for kids.
Yeah.
And so it'll last forever.
This got me a little bit of a rabbit hole, but there was a video that shows like the 40 dirtiest jokes in Rocco. And the only one I can quite remember at this time, they didn't have Eat the Beaver on there, actually, now when I think about it, which that one's pretty good. But it's when they're at the Jack O'Hammer 3000, and the slogan underneath it is "Jack all you want."
That's awesome.
But yeah, Rocco's got me super pumped. Do you know when it comes out? I couldn't remember seeing a date.
I didn't see a date on that either. Okay. So you had Rocco. Oh, where should I go from here? There was a bunch of stuff, and it's so hard. I feel like so many things.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like these are drafts, but you can just pick one and run. Like, I don't know if you have one on the list, but you want to break the superhero or the superhero movie.
No, you know what? I'll dance around. I'll dance around it a bit. Stranger Things.
I didn't.
I guess I'll put that one out there.
Yeah.
You didn't see the first season.
I didn't watch the trailer either because I haven't seen the first season. It's in my queue. Like you and I have talked. I've got to. What I need, Richard, is like 40 extra hours in a day.
Well, you're all busy, I gotta work out and
I gotta go to the coffee shop and write, Richard.
I go to the coffee shop.
Richard, I'm working awfully hard not to get anywhere in life.
Ain't that always the way?
Oh, that's not true.
So Stranger Things. Like, I don't want to say too much about it, but the few things I will say is that movie is so great in the sense that you had 3 kids on Halloween, and what were they dressed as? Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about, like, it's total. You lived in the 80s more than me. Like, I lived 4 years in the 80s, but I mean, I was a kid, like baby at the time, so I don't remember a ton of it. So it feels like there's a lot more nostalgia for somebody like your age. When
so much more, and it's not just big things; it's little things. Like, if you, and this isn't like a giveaway or anything, but when you see the intro, just the title intro, the title card intro, not only does it have that 80s kind of TV movie of the week feel in terms of music and look. They actually took the time, and this is so great. They actually took the time to grain the title sequence. So when you watch the title sequence, you can see grains in it, like it's on film,
like it's on. Or okay, so not like a VHS, like you're watching a videotape, but more.
No, not like the lines across the screen, but just like the little grains. Little white grains that you would see if you're watching like an 80s film in the theater.
Yeah. Nice.
Like, it's just those little tiny things. So I won't say much about the trailer, like I said, just to avoid spoilers, but Ghostbuster outfits, also the best use of Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Okay. I've heard that was the big thing playing for it.
Very, very cool.
It's on my queue. Like, what I love right now is there are so many places to get good content out. You know, like, you've got Netflix, you've got Hulu, you've got Amazon, you've got regular TV, HBO. Well, HBO is kind of a little bit harder probably, but these people who are like in the business can go to these companies and be like, "Hey, I've got this idea that no one else will buy. What do you think?" Yeah, sure. Let's throw some money at it.
Oh, you mean in terms of distributing content? Yeah. You've got Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, and Amazon's doing the Tick.
It's out. Actually out, isn't it? I think
it is,
because they did a.
I haven't looked to see.
There's a Claude Van Damme TV show they have too. That's supposedly supposed to be pretty good. I haven't seen any of them yet.
They have so Shaun of the Dead. You remember Shaun of the Dead? The roommate of Shawn's that turned into a zombie.
Yeah.
That is
Ed?
Who was playing the. Yeah.
No, not Ed. Ed was
no, not Ed. Not his buddy. The roommate who ended up being a zombie, where he shows up at the Winchester and then Shawn's like, "Fuck a doodle doo." But that's who's playing the Tick.
Oh, interesting. Pete, right? Wasn't it Pete?
Yes. Good pull.
Yeah, thanks, Google. I mean, yeah, pulled it right out of my noggin.
Good job. Proud of you. So yeah, Stranger Things season 2. Don't get it till October. You've got plenty of time, Shawn. You've got till like end of October, because this is coming out. Season 2's coming out around Halloween.
Is that based on a book or anything? I may need to get a book and read it first.
God damn it. No, it's not based on a book.
Well, Richard, if, Comic-Con, comics, I think the right thing to burst the superhero movie bubble first.
Yeah.
To pop that cherry, that there's a ton of stuff we need to talk about. It may not be the one you want to talk about first off, but when I saw it, I was like, yep, I already wanted to go see it. Still going to go see it. Fucking Thor Ragnarok.
See, I was saving myself for that because, again, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I saw after the first trailer, I wet myself.
I'm all in. First trailer, I'm all in.
I got man hard and I wet myself.
We know each other from work. It's like, perfect. I'm in. Give me a beer. Let's watch this.
Oh, and Led Zeppelin. Oh my God. They started playing that Led Zeppelin song. I'm like, why has this not been in anything Thor related ever?
Well, I love that they're starting to give Thor some comedic aspects. Like, he's a pretty funny character, and this one. Well,
and also this movie, Thor 2 had, I would say, was the best part of Thor 2 was basically any interaction between Thor and Loki. I mean, I mean, the rest of the movie was kind of it was so, but it was the interaction between Thor and Loki in the second one that people really responded to. And so with this, not only do you have an amazing looking villain in Cate Blanchett, and you have this and you have amazing visuals. That sequence where you see people riding out of the sky on fucking winged Pegasus.
Oh, yes.
And they're playing that like synthesized shit in the background.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Just want to be like,
just a rainbow with a dark.
I look like that's something I would have on a Trapper Keeper.
Yes. Well, I love the, like I said, going back to the comedy, like he's sitting there, he's talking to Hulk. He's like, I've had kind of a rough couple days. Just lost my hammer. So that's pretty fresh. And we fought. Did I win? No, I beat you easily. That doesn't sound right. Well, it's true.
It's true. So,
and then we get to hear fucking Rich. We get to hear Hulk talk.
You get to hear Hulk talk, which he did. I mean, he talked in the Avengers.
Did he say Hulk smash in the Avengers, or was it the original?
No, he said puny god in the Avengers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he threw Loki around.
I forgot
like
about
a doll.
That.
Puny god.
It's not as funny now. I mean, I'm not going to go see this movie. This movie sucks. It ripped off Avengers. Hulk. Hulk like fire. Thor like water. Well, I mean, we're both kind of like fire. Hulk like blazing fire. Thor like
smoldering fire. Very nice.
Yeah, so I'm super pumped for that.
And that's November.
Oh, is it really November?
Yeah.
So we're going to get Justice League and Thor in November?
Yeah.
Those come back. Which one comes out first, do you know?
That I'm not sure. That I'd have to look up. But yeah, because because after Thor, I think we're getting fucking Infinity War.
Because that comes out in like April or something, right?
Yeah, well, I want to say like April, May. Sounds right.
So Justice League is the 17th of November and Ragnarok is the 3rd. So we get Ragnarok first. So Marvel's like, take that, Justice League. And Justice League comes out 2 weeks later.
The thing that I loved is when that first trailer popped, that movie came out. That movie was not in my peripheral vision at all.
Thor? Yeah, no.
Yeah, that movie was not something I was thinking about at all. And then I saw that trailer and it smacked me right in the face. Then I see this and there's more footage and bring it.
It's almost relatable to like Guardians. Like I was like, I don't want to see this because I saw Thor 2. Both were kind of meh. And you see this, you're like, oh shit! Like I'm in. You got Jeff Goldblum in there.
Looks great, and like I said, like the movie, like one thing with Marvel movies, they were getting a lot of flack for were that they weren't very colorful. It kind of had like one drab palette of colors that they used in Marvel films. And you get to this and it's all color.
Yeah.
There's pretty colors and they're everywhere.
Well, it seems like this is going to be the big setup to Infinity Wars too. Because, he's who knows where in the universe. He's probably going to run into somebody else who knows where in the universe.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get...
Oh, you know what? I'll say it. I caught the Infinity War trailer.
Shh, Richard, you weren't supposed to see it.
No, I was supposed to see it. I was owed it. That's what happened. I was owed that.
I saw
Shawn.
It too. I watched it too, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
No, I'm not ashamed either. Because you know why? Because it's 90 seconds of an Infinity War trailer, and a bunch of people in California saw it. They saw it at the D23 Expo.
Yeah, they saw it twice.
Saw it at Comic-Con. Yeah, they saw it twice. Do I get to see it?
No.
You put it up on the internet, and I want to watch it, and then I want to watch it again, and it's gone. And you know what? That's crap.
Some dude's got to hold the camera through his pee hole and have it behind some dude's head, so I don't even get to see like 1/10 of the screen.
Right.
Because some dude's head in the way. And then everybody cheers when Spider-Man shows up. I'm like, hey, I like Spider-Man too, but shut up. I'm trying to hear the words through a shitty microphone. But yeah, guess what, Richard? You see Thor and the Guardians meeting up.
You do.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
I got like every time they showed these groups of characters together that haven't been together yet, like it felt weird. I was like, oh,
It did feel weird, but at the same time, it's watching your brain explode
yeah,
outside your body. Because here's when you look at like the Avengers, okay, the very first Avengers movie, you kind of had that feeling where it starts out, you know, Nick Fury and Hawkeye and Black Widow are hanging out, and then all of a sudden Cap shows up, and then Thor shows up, and you're like, oh, they were in separate movies together in the same one.
yeah.
This is amazing.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Like Avengers, you kind of got to like, that's what got me into comics. It's like, oh my God, I'm excited. I want to see comics. I wonder if this is going to get that like like I felt like at this point,
this is going to be that on steroids.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have Thor and the Guardians and Doctor Strange,
Cap
and
Vision,
Cap,
Black Panther,
Vision, Black Panther, Spider-Man,
Hawkeye,
Iron Man, Hawkeye,
Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow.
All of the things, Doctor Strange.
So I wonder if that's going to like rejuvenate like the feelings of like, oh my God, I'm back on the superhero. I'm still seeing them no matter what, but kind of give that like extra jolt.
Yeah, and it's gonna. I wonder. I mean, with a movie with so many like Avengers, the thing was always like, how do you balance a movie with so many people?
Yeah.
And now I'm saying, how do you balance two movies with so many people?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you imagine like this whole thing has to be like one big battle. Like that's the only. Like I feel like this is like when you take all your toys from your toy chest and dump them out, and like you're just grabbing random characters and have them fighting. It's like, no,
I'm G.I. Joe. Oh yeah, well I'm a big Ken doll. Why do you have a big Ken doll in your toy box? Never you mind. I'm twice the size because you're a tiny Joe and I'm Big Ken, and I'm gonna stomp on your face.
Laura, he's playing with the Ken doll again.
That's when Voltron shows up.
What's happening to my special place?
Okay, Shawn. So if you want to break down the Marvel panel or the big news that came with Marvel, so here's what you got. Number one, the movie that I also forgot about that they were still working on, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I didn't hear or see anything about. I guess I saw the poster, but yeah, that's one that like I'm not even.
There's the
interested
poster. They also announced who is playing Janet Van Dyne. Janet Van Dyne was the first Wasp.
Oh, okay.
Michelle Pfeiffer will be playing Janet
that.
Van Dyne.
Yeah.
Catwoman is now the Wasp.
There's a lot of people crossing the streams on this Marvel DC thing.
Well, yeah, because here's my thing is if I'm an actor and, you know, I'm fairly distinguished, I had a really good career, but now I'm a bit older, I'm getting long in the tooth. I'm like, hey, I sign up for a fucking comic book movie and they'll young me up on the screen and then I look amazing.
Yeah, good point.
Look at Robert Downey Jr., Michael Douglas, Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell looked amazing. Young Kurt Russell looked fantastic. I'll tell you what, and I said this to some friends. I said, if you can do young Kurt Russell like that, and he looks as good as he did on that screen, then fuck it. Just give me a whole movie of him like that and give me a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China.
Shit,
you don't need to fucking reboot it. Don't bother rebooting it. Just put him back in it and young him up, and then I get another movie like that. And that'd be amazing.
You give him like $20 million just to do voiceover work. Like he doesn't have to do anything. Maybe you put him in it like he's like retelling the tale of I forgot his name. I'm sorry. I've only seen it once.
Jack Burton.
Yeah, he's telling the tales of Jack Burton. Big Trouble in Little Italy.
So Michelle Pfeiffer is playing the Wasp. Or Janet Van Dyne, the first person to the first one that was the Wasp.
So she's going to be married to Mr. Douglas, Michael Douglas.
Correct.
Nice.
Correct. The other thing is Captain Marvel.
I saw a little grainy video of her becoming Captain Marvel, but that's about all I saw.
So I think we knew who was playing Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I think so.
The things that they didn't, or the things that they announced, or not really announced, but the things that they talked about at the panel that I didn't know was two things. Number one, well, actually three things. Number one, this movie is going to be set in the 90s.
Okay. I did get a 90s feel from that.
So the movie is going to be set in the 90s. So this is, in terms of the timeline, this is going to be pre-Iron Man, pre-everything.
So is there Captain Marvel in DC and...
Yes.
Okay. I thought so. But Captain Marvel in...
Captain Marvel in DC is a guy. Captain Marvel in Marvel was a guy, but now it's a girl. So it started out as a guy, now it's a girl. Carol Danvers was the person who became Captain Marvel.
Okay.
In the comics. So movie set in the 90s, which, okay, cool. Like, I don't know how I feel by the fact that we're doing a flashback movie into the 90s.
Oh, yeah, good point.
It kind of makes me feel old a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
So there's that. But okay. The other thing is they are introducing the Skrulls into Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Because that's where her powers came from.
I gotcha.
So I don't know how much you know about the Skrulls. The Skrulls were
That's very Doctor Strange, right?
No, Fantastic Four.
Oh.
They were more in the Fantastic Four.
Well, how are they going to do that if it's Marvel?
No, I was just in the older comics, I'd say that's where they were more prevalent, but they're not really considered I wouldn't say that they're considered exclusive to the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
So the Skrulls are they're an alien race and they're shapeshifters. So they can mimic other people and in a lot of cases other superheroes. There was a huge Marvel event a long time ago called Secret Invasion.
Okay.
That happened after Civil War. Secret Invasion was where you found out that heroes that you thought were heroes for like 50 years were actually like deep cover Skrulls.
Oh, that sucks. I'd be pissed.
Yeah. I didn't read it because I was kind of like, oh, I want to know about this. Yeah. That blows. Like you find out and so the whole thing is like, well, are they a person or are they a Skrull? And how you can't tell the difference and you don't know. And I don't know. It was okay. Anyway, but the Skrulls, they're introducing into the Marvel universe, which is huge because they were, one of the big alien kind of threats. They were the sworn enemy of the Shi'ar Empire, which, if you remember in Guardians 1, that's what, what's his name was from? Rowan the Accuser.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So
do you think this is going to set up the big bad for the phase? Oh, possibly. I mean, this one's not out until 2019, so. The other thing is, since we're flashing back to the 90s, they said that Nick Fury is going to be in Captain Marvel.
Huh.
And since this is set in the 90s, we're getting a two-eyed Nick Fury.
Oh, are we going to young
This
up?
is pre-patch Nick Fury.
So we're going to young him up a little bit?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to young him up because black don't crack. But yeah, well, he'll definitely have both eyes. So there's that. So yeah, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, Thor, Infinity War, and Black Panther. That was the other big one.
Okay, which we've already seen a little bit of Black Panther. There's no new trailer though, right?
I think they put out a different they put out a different trailer that had a couple new sequences in it, but nothing major.
Gotcha.
From what I understand.
I really hate, Marvel did this, I guess, with Black Panther and now with Infinity Wars. They had their Disney Expo 2 weeks ago. They show them. They have San Diego Comic-Con. They show them, but they don't release them to the people. I think before it made sense because the Disney Expo was 2 weeks after Comic-Con, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, now it's before.
But yeah.
Last time it was on, last time it was like 2 or 3, that was like a week after.
Yeah. Which makes sense why, okay, whatever we show here, we don't want to show because we got a bigger con for us. But you've already shown...
Just us.
Yeah, you've already exposed yourself twice to people. Give it to everybody.
Yeah. I totally agree. I don't know why.
But you know why?
I mean, there's some things that I do feel are exclusive to goers to the con. Okay, a show we haven't talked about yet, The Defenders.
Okay.
At the Defenders panel at Comic-Con this year, they actually showed the first episode of the series.
Yeah, which you don't want that getting out.
Well, yeah, and I'm totally fine with them seeing it. Like, you know, I don't deserve to see that because I didn't fly to San Diego. I didn't attend the convention. I don't get to see first episode of Defenders a month before everybody else. That's cool. But a 90-second piece of footage, a 90-second, clip together teaser trailer, come on.
Yeah, just put it out.
Come on.
They did that with they showed a trailer, but they're not releasing that till Thursday. It's like, listen, I'm sorry I don't live on the West Coast or the East Coast and fly to the West Coast. Show me the damn trailer, please. Pretty please.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about who's kind of winning the con this year, and I think they've been declared the winners at this point because they showed their trailer, Richard. We get to see Jason Momoa surfing down a building on one of those demon things.
Parademons.
Yeah. Aquaman in Justice League. So Justice League, I feel like they're still trying to grasp what they want to do with this franchise, with this kind of universe.
I do too. I feel like...
Well, do they want Batman to kind of lead it? Well, now do they want Wonder Woman?
They got Wonder Woman. They got Wonder Woman to work.
Yeah.
And so...
Joss Whedon's taking the helm now, basically, it sounds like.
And that's cool. And so now I'm just kind of... I don't know what they're wanting to do.
Did the trailer get you excited at all? Like, when you watched the Justice League trailer, were you in, or are you just still kind of meh? Because I know it seems like you haven't really been big on the DC stuff.
I've been kind of meh, and I saw this, and it looked kind of cool. The first couple of minutes, I was kind of like, ooh, because it was Wonder Woman kicking ass. I don't know, the bit with Batman and the kind of little funny scenes between Batman and Alfred, like that was okay. I don't know, like it doesn't light a fire under me. Okay. I guess is what I'm saying. I will definitely watch it. Obviously, I'll watch it. As to when I'll watch it, will I watch it in a theater? I'll probably watch it in the theater. I guess there's nothing that is getting me in the headspace of I need to see this or I will die. I need to see this movie so I know that I have seen this movie.
Yeah. Well, I think I feel the same way about Infinity War, though, in my opinion. Like, if I die and don't see Infinity Wars, like, okay, that stinks, but...
Also stinks that you'll be dead.
That's true.
So there's that.
You'll be doing a podcast by yourself.
I could talk about Stranger Things all the time.
But it seemed kind of darker. It seems like it's a little bit different than the Batman v Superman. And I don't know if that's Joss Whedon or if that's just the change that's already in place. Because they're doing a lot of reshoots from what I've heard. Like, Joss Whedon's kind of in it. Like, he is in it.
Yeah, he's taken it over completely. Zack Snyder stepped out. Personal reasons, totally get that, totally understand. Joss has agreed to take the helm, and so he's in it. He is in it and in charge. He is large and in charge.
Yeah. The thing that I find interesting, it took me a couple times to catch this in the trailer, but they've had to unite the 7. I think there's always been 7 in the Justice League typically, right? Like there's the 7 founding people.
Yeah. Hang on. It was Batman, Superman.
Yeah. So like who we know about right now in the trailer.
Okay. And this is, and I know this makes me sound like I'm like shitting in DC's mouth, and I'm really not. But the one thing that got me, the one thing that did kind of have me a little excited in the Justice League trailer was when Steppenwolf, which I'm guessing that's Steppenwolf, when he shows up and he says, this world isn't protected.
Yeah, that's the part I was just going to say.
He says, there's no lanterns. And I was like, oh, he said there's no lanterns. I know what he's talking about.
Yep.
Like that had me kind of like, ooh.
Yep. There's no lanterns. There's not a Kryptonian anymore.
Yeah.
Which that's what I'm curious about. Like at the end of the trailer, Alfred's talking to somebody. And I'm like, okay, well, is that Superman or is that the Lantern?
Yeah. No, it's Superman. You can, in the bottom of the shot, you can kind of see the red cape.
Oh, I'll have to watch it again. It seems like that whole, at least what I've seen, that whole side was like completely dark.
No, if you look at like the bottom of the screen, you can see the
Cape.
oh shit. Yes.
Okay.
Cape.
I'll have to look for that.
I don't know how to speak words.
The only other real like superhero-y type thing that I had was I guess they announced they're going to do Flashpoint, and the question I have,
They already did Flashpoint.
No,
They're doing like a live action Flashpoint.
That's going to be the Flash movie. Well, if you're going to tell me you're going to get Thomas Wayne as Batman shooting guns and Mrs. Wayne as the Joker, I'd go see it, even if it's terrible. Like,
Yeah, that'd be great. Except for the fact that I saw it. I watched Flashpoint.
did they really do
just got-
Flashpoint though in Flash?
A little bit. I mean, they didn't touch it near what that. I mean, even that DC animated film did.
Did they have Thomas Wayne in there at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So you didn't really see the. Whenever I think of Flashpoint, like that's the selling point for me as a Thomas Wayne as a gun wielding Batman and a Miss Joker.
I think I don't. This is the shit that's bothering me when it comes to DC. Everything feels so fragmented, and it's non-cohesive.
Well,
Like
yeah,
they still think that we as people live in a TV world and a movie world, and stop it.
and Marvel's proven that there's a Netflix world, not really a TV world, and a movie world.
Yeah. Although, I mean, they had Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that was kind of badass.
I know they have Inhumans coming out, and that looks bad.
It doesn't look great. Like here's my thing with the Inhuman. Two things the reason we're getting Inhumans is because Fox owns the X-Men.
Yeah,
That's why we're getting Inhumans. So that's point number one. Point number two is the character that's playing the villain in the Inhumans was Ramsay Bolton, and I hate him enough.
he's
I can't.
He's in a movie where he plays a young Hitler too.
Why? Why does he do this to him? Does he just want everybody? He's like, I like it when I walk down the street and people throw things at my head.
It's like, it's Hitler. Grape. It's Ramsay Bolton. Grape. It's the bad guy from Inhumans. Grape.
Hey, he remembered Inhumans.
You're the one of the two people that watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a thing. I don't think that's gonna be popular. But I mean, I could be wrong. Who knows? So that's the Marvel stuff. Marvel stuff is you had all their stuff. DC had
Was Justice League really the only thing they talked about? Besides like announcing Flashpoint and Batgirl and Batman and
I think so. Well, I mean, I think they announced they're doing a Wonder Woman sequel, which
Oh, I heard that, yeah.
duh.
Yeah. Really? I think it's gonna be set in like 80s Cold War.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. So then on the TV side, you had Flash and Arrow. Who, I mean, I kind of dip in and out of the Flash. I don't really watch Arrow, so I can't really speak to any of that.
Yeah, I
Now
kind of
it's-
watched the first season and fell off.
But there's two big things, or there's two other things that I wanna get out there. One is a trailer for a movie on Netflix called Bright.
Yes.
You tell me what you think of this.
I hope it is. So basically what you're looking at is your D&D, your Dungeons and Dragons monster manual come to life, like in modern day world.
Yes.
It is the equivalent of something we've talked about before, like Shadowrun. I've never played the game or anything, but you've told me about it and sold me. Like, I hope that it is, the backstory is like at some point in time, something happened where orcs, elves, fairies, all these magical things came to be just randomly.
Right.
Like, we had our world like we do today, and all of a sudden now, poof, magic's real, and your neighbor's now an orc. You knew it. You knew he was an orc. Like, he'd go out there, he'd piss off his back porch. He wouldn't let his dog, he'd shit in your yard. You're like,
why is that guy gotta act like such an orc?
Yeah.
And then your girlfriend or wife is like, what's an orc? And then you're like, leave.
Yeah.
You need to go.
D20. Yeah, you just botched.
Hang on.
Get out.
Oh, rolled a 1. Get out of my house.
And then as your wife leaves, that next morning you wake up and you walk out and guess what your neighbor is? He's an orc.
Yeah. And then you call up your girlfriend and you're like, fucking told you.
You look in the mirror and what are you? A halfling.
Yeah.
Oh, knew it.
Damn it. So this is, I guess the way that I can, if somebody asked me to pitch this movie based on the trailer, like, what is this movie? What's it about? From what I'm gathering, it looks like Bad Boys meets Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings light.
Yeah. Bad Boys meets Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Because it's this, kind of buddy cop kind of movie, but it's a more serious. It's not a buddy cop comedy.
No. Yeah, it seems like a serious.
Like I watch it and it's not approached like a comedy. It's approached like an action movie. But there's elves doing flips and orcs and a magic wand.
So the only thing that I couldn't really get into is the MacGuffin of this movie is a magic wand. So I'm kind of wondering, like, we're gonna get and watch this movie, like the idea behind this movie is gonna be awesome, and you're gonna be chasing down this magic wand thing where you're like, that just doesn't quite work. Maybe it will, I don't know. But the one thing I find amazing about this is a Netflix movie, Richard.
It is strictly for Netflix.
Probably should be a theatrical release movie, but December 22nd. Guess what? Anybody with a Netflix account, go watch it.
Yep. Speaking of Netflix, there was another movie. This wasn't a Comic-Con thing, but there was another movie they announced. Netflix bought a fucking Scorsese. Scorsese's doing a movie about Jimmy Hoffa, and Netflix bought it. So Scorsese's directing a movie for Netflix. The cast he so far has picked up, he's got Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and Harvey Keitel. For a fucking Netflix movie.
They're spending a lot. Well, they got that Disney money now. Well, and I'm not sure. So, like, Bright, like, I think it was made and Netflix bought it, is the way I thought I read this.
Now, that may be. I don't know. That I don't know.
They're kind of doing both. They're going out and buying movies, which I don't understand how Will Smith would have had a movie made without, like, some kind of studio behind it. So that might not be correct, but yeah, they're buying everything left and right.
You know what? And that's fine because there's a lot of the stuff that they've made I'm fairly happy with. I mean, they've had some misses, don't get me wrong, but
what's nice is like, December 22nd, you're around Christmas time, you're with some family, you're like, hey, let's watch this brand new movie, and instead of spending $75 for all 12 of us to go see a movie, let's just drop $15 and watch it.
Exactly. Okay, so Shawn, this is the thing I wanted to end with.
Well, so I don't think this is it, but I've got another thing. But Westworld, did you see the trailer for that?
I did see that. That's not what I wanted to end with.
Okay.
But yes, I did see that. Westworld looked really. That season 2 looks. Or the little teaser. I don't know what of that is from season 2 or who knows, but like that all looks awesome.
That's all from 1 week of production. They've only been shooting for a week, and that's what you get from that. And I know they don't come out till 2018 because I think when we talked about it before, when they made the first season, I don't think they thought they'd have the hit they had, and so they weren't. I don't know if they were expecting a second season, and so when it was so big, they finally got everything in motion and got it kicked off to start this year and released next year.
Right. Yeah, that's the way I understood it too.
I think I know what you're going to go with, but the other thing I was wanting to talk about just a tiny bit, Walking Dead, they released their trailer.
Yeah, I did watch that.
Yeah, so it was like the intro to it was like the soft percussion, and then they kicked into some Dropkick Murphy. So it was some Boondock Saints-esque music with Norman Reedus in there, which that kind of took me out of it a little bit.
There were 3 little things I had. One was we finally got a trailer for the new Star Trek series, that Star Trek Discovery.
Gotcha. I saw some bits and pieces to it, but I'm not a big Trekkie, so it's kind of.
I mean, I'm okay. I mean, I've watched them all. Well, I haven't watched every episode of every series, but I've cleared through a couple of them. And if you're trying to see, my issue with this is CBS is trying to hang their online subscription only service on this show.
That's what I heard.
The only way you're going to be able to see this is if you get that CBS All Access or whatever.
Are they not going to show it on actual CBS?
Correct.
Really? Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yes. Yeah, this isn't going to be on CBS. It's solely on their online thing.
3 months they sell it to Hulu.
And if you're trying to bank it on that,
that's awful. That's a paywall. That's stupid.
It is. Yeah. If they had some other things to put up there, if they weren't like, oh, we got Star Trek and I don't know what, not much else.
And you can watch reruns of Big Bang Theory and all the other shows that are on Hulu. But you know what sucks? So like
$15 a month.
If CBS is like, hey, you spend $10 a month, you get all these shows, and you can watch the sports we show, probably, maybe worth it. But you can't even watch the sports. Like I can't watch NFL on that because NFL won't let that happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more an issue with the NFL.
Well, I know it's not their it's not their content, but still, it's one of those things like, hey, if I can watch any CBS NFL game that's currently playing, like that'd be worth it. But yeah, it's totally not worth it to watch one.
Yeah, but
show.
you can't do that anyway. That's why, like, you get like your NFL Sunday ticket, and they put a game up on a local channel, and then you're flipping through your DirecTV channels, and you don't get shit.
Your Sunday NFL ticket's like $300, so you can watch any game you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I like baseball, Richard. You just get MLB.TV, $100 a year, get to watch any game you want.
Well, I hope that you watch many people make their baskets
and score their touchdowns
and have 50 and have Deuce in love.
Go team!
Yay! Sports. Two other little things. Had a 90-second or minute 20 thing on the Christmas special of Doctor Who.
Okay. There's going to be a female doctor, I think they announced.
Yes, they announced that a couple weeks ago.
And I heard you were enraged by that. You're like, no,
I was not.
My doctor's male.
No, stop. I wasn't. I don't know. Why are people...
Women can't be doctors.
Why do people get upset about this shit? This shit makes no sense.
I honestly feel like in this age of social media, there's like a small minority that like post all the stuff a lot. Like a majority of the people are probably more like us, like, okay, let's see how it is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
I feel like there's not too many like role reversals you can make. Like, like I was gonna say, like you can't make Batman a woman. Like Bruce Wayne can't be a woman. I'm like, you know what? Barbara, or not Barbara, because that's already a character. Bethany Wayne. I'd watch that. Bethany Wayne is Batman.
Sure.
Sounds awesome, actually.
Batman's long lost sister.
No, like that's actually like that's. Instead of Bruce Wayne being there, it was Bethany Wayne. Beth Wayne.
All right. Another show.
You're like, all right, dumb idea. Next topic.
Yeah, that's a dumb idea.
A woman can't be Batman, Shawn.
Well, I wasn't trying. Well, I was gonna save that for the end, where I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Bethany Wayne?
Copyright, Richard.
No, that's you. That's your copyright. You take that and you own that. Because that is yours, and no one else's. You hold it tight.
You get Joss Whedon to write that, it's $1 million. It's like a $1 billion movie.
Probably. Well, yeah, but that's him writing it.
That's true.
Orville, which I just caught this on the tail end of me refreshing myself with news. I saw it, and it looks surprising. The production value looks surprisingly well.
It looks really good, yeah. Like the production value looks really good.
The production value looks really good. It looks like they spent some money on it. Like that's Family Guy money.
Well, yeah, and it kind of looks like one of those shows that I'll catch like one or two of and feel good. Like I don't feel like I need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like it definitely seems like a season or two show, no more. Unless it's
I just kind of saw it and was like, oh, okay. Like maybe I'll I'll catch that later. It's like I said with when it comes to like Justice League, it doesn't hit me in a way that like I need to see this.
Yeah.
This is life now. Now, Shawn, let me tell you about a movie. This is me. I'm gonna tell you about a movie that hit me in all my feels. Hit me in my nostalgia feels, and made me feel good, and it looks awesome. Shawn, Ready Player One.
Movie I didn't even know I wanted. I've heard people talk about this movie for like 3 years. I've heard people talk about the book probably longer. And to me, it always sounded like some stupid, like, for some reason, I always thought of like,
oh, the book.
Whenever somebody stepped in.
Shawn's going to read the book and tell me all about it before I see the movie.
I'll probably see the movie first because it's going to come out before I can get a chance to read the book. I'll read the book after on this case.
Okay.
But whenever I heard Ready Player One, I always thought of Shaun of the Dead. Like, I thought it was some stupid connection to Shaun of the Dead. Like, that's what I had associated in my mind. Some dude walking up and saying, Player One ready. Boop, 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 playing on their controller. No, Richard. This is 2045. You've got every single pop culture reference you can think of and then more inside of this thing. You saw Freddy Krueger. You saw the DeLorean. You saw the car from Road Warrior.
Do you remember when you were a kid? Or not, well, not me, because I was horrible at art, but I had friends that would do it. They would sit and they would doodle in class, and they'd be like, look at this car from Road Warrior and the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and they're going to have a race. And you'd see it and be like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, my God, that'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Shawn, I saw that. I saw that in the trailer. There's a car from Road Warrior and the DeLorean.
It's the A-Team van. Did you see the A-Team van? It's in there.
They had the A-Team van in there. And
Harley Quinn, Deadshot, they're in there. Batman's probably going to be in there somewhere.
It was like okay. I got a really good metaphor, but it's a metaphor that I'm reluctant to say out loud. Okay, have you ever, Shawn?
Is it because your wife's behind you?
Yes, it is. It really is. Okay,
babe, go. Can you? There's a fire in the backyard. Quick.
Yes, I'm okay. Hang on. Sweetie, I'm gonna make a weird reference here, so you're just gonna have. I'm sorry. I love you, but it's good. It's good, but sorry. Okay. You ever had your lady doing business
once?
Like she's going down on you, right?
Yeah.
And you finish.
Okay.
Like you're done. You finish. And they keep going.
Oh yeah.
Like after you finish, and then like your eyes like shoot straight to the top of your brain, and then your brain feels like it's melting.
You're chained, so you can't like get them off of it. You're like, ah!
Yeah, and your brain feels like it's melting inside your head.
It's like being tickled inside of your skin.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, like you're like all of your senses go into overload. That is how I felt watching this trailer, because all of the things, all of the things,
and it's such like right now VR, like actual virtual reality, is a new thing that's kind of kicking off. So you're very much like we're at the beginning of what this could be in the future, and so that's really cool to kind of be in this, where we are in this mindset today. What I wish I lived in the 80s. Okay, that's awesome. I wish I lived in this world where I could have all of the things.
All the things, and then my brain can melt inside my head.
I heard somewhere somebody talk about the guy who wrote the book, how he said like nobody has found all the pop culture references in the book yet.
I've heard that.
He still has a bunch more that nobody's figured out yet, which is kind of like that makes me want to read the book even more.
Right? It's like it's like pop culture Inception.
Yeah.
Like you're going in, and there's like, oh, go deeper.
Yeah.
Go deeper. And then you're like, how does this go?
It's like, oh my God, this is Marvel and DC. How can you do that? But Warner Brothers can't because, Marvels are a-holes.
So, Shawn, one of my favorite movies from my younger youth was Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, that's good. Good flick.
Now, one of the things, and I'll tell you what still holds up. I rewatched it like 3-4 months ago, still holds up. So if you're ever looking for if you ever want to rewatch Roger Rabbit, it's okay. It'll still hold up for you. But one of the things that I loved about that movie was the fact that there was a stage that Daffy and Donald Duck were on together.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Playing piano. There's a sequence with Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny skydiving together. As a kid, my brain explodes because I'm like, well, those are Disney cartoons, and this is Warner Brothers cartoons, and then there's Droopy, and how they're all in the same thing.
I don't think I realized that.
That's what my adult self did watching this. I'm like, how does this work?
Isn't that sad as an adult? Like, you go to the business side of it, and as a kid, you're like, oh, I love all these things. And as an adult, you're like, wait, somebody's getting sued for this.
Oh my God, Shawn, all of the things. Yeah, I watched that and I was tired. It made me tired.
Yeah, it got me pumped. Like, I heard about it. Like, Steven Spielberg was too. I'm like, okay. Saw it popped up. It's Comic-Con. Let me click it. And same thing. Like, I felt like I finished and somebody was tickling me from the inside of my skin.
Yeah. So good. Oh, okay. That's how I needed to end this. 2018.
Okay, so it's next year.
But it's March of 2018.
Okay.
So not
so
far.
That's a movie I would say, like, if I died before that comes out, I'd probably be kind of upset. Like, I feel like that's a movie I need to see.
As you're crawling, as you're slowly dying. No, just until March.
I'll call Steve and be like, hey, I've only got 2 weeks to live and this movie comes out in 3. Can I watch it early? No. Fuck you. It's going to make $1 billion. We don't need you.
Oh, that makes me boo.
Guess I only had 1 day left to live.
Uh,
All right, Richard. Well, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts as we're getting ready to close Hall LOB?
If I remember right, I think last year I was excited about, the things that we saw, or the things that we were going, the trailers, but I don't remember there being this much stuff last year. Like, there was plenty to talk about. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think it was like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you had Wonder Woman, and we were kind of on the fence about
Doctor
They
Strange.
had Suicide Squad. They had showed that. They had the trailer for that, and we were kind of like, oh, maybe, yeah, okay. Like Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman, and that. Yeah, you're right. That little. I remember last year, Marvel kind of faded back and didn't really
they took
announce that much. And DC kind of went like balls to the wall, and they're like, we got Wonder Woman, we've got Suicide Squad, we've got, Justice League shit. Like, look at all of our things. Look at our massive dick.
Look at our DC dick.
1 year later, don't worry about the Suicide Squad part. Look at Wonder Woman and look at the size of her dick. But yeah, I don't remember there being this quantity of stuff. Like this year, I was struggling to keep up with the things that were happening. And it was all good things. And it all made me happy. And I think it was good to end with Ready Player One because, Shawn, I'm spent.
Ready Player Nap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Richard. Well, the janitors are coming in to kind of clean up the hall, so let me do a little bit of housekeeping before they kick us out. Visit our website. We're at languageofbros.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbros.com. Check out the LOB Army Intelligence Report. Like us on Facebook. Go out and recruit somebody for the LOB Army by getting someone you know to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Stitcher. And just to let you know what we're going to do here, in the next 3 weeks, if you get somebody you know to subscribe to the Language of Bromance, post that on Twitter, hashtag LOB Army, with the person that you got to subscribe, and we'll put you into an entry for a $10 iTunes gift card.
We're giving things away because we love you so, so much. And I mean, I don't know. I think, Shawn, we've been on here for 3 years. I think this is our way of saying we love you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, here's the thing, is we're not posting this on...
Nope, it's not only social media. It's just going to be here in the episode.
We're not posting on Twitter because we don't want a bunch of vultures swooping in and claiming the gift card just because. We're just mentioning on here because you got to listen and like us and love us in order to get it.
Yeah.
Or at least listen. You don't have to like us.
Yeah, you don't have to like us.
No. I don't like us.
Richard, what else can they do if they go over to Stitcher or Apple Podcasts? What can they leave us
If they
there?
do that, they could definitely rate us and also leave a review, because the reviews are super, super helpful. Help keep us in the iTunes rankings, help keep us relevant on all lists, and helps keep us trucking along in this great pod race that we are jogging in.
Like maybe mild speed walking.
Power walking.
And make sure you always check us out on the Pod Bros Network.
Because that's the best podcast site on the internet.
Yeah, they're all about we're like the Justice League group, like the Pod Bros Justice League.
Oh my God, and then we're like Batman.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think we're like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Batman, you're the Boy Wonder. And make sure you join, if you want to throw in a little bit of extra, go to our Patreon accounts, www.patreon.com/languageofbromance.
Yes. And then maybe if you leave us enough, then we could go to Comic-Con next year.
Yeah.
And I could dress as Batman and Shawn could dress as Robin.
I'd be a sexy Robin.
So let's wrap this up.
All right. Well, anything else before I close her out?
I'm Batman.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver. All right. I'll talk to you later, Robin. Bye.
Oh, he got me.
Oh, I got the last word, Robin.
He got me. So long, super friends.